Progress. A Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.
You know what you get here. You get forward progress. We give it to you. We award it to you here on 312 Sports. And we also bring you Bears news. And it is official. You've been waiting for it. And now you have it. Wait no longer. I am reading the official press release from the Chicago Bears, their story here. And that is that they have a new assistant general manager. Ian Cunningham's replacement has been found, and it is Jeff King. In the picture of Jeff King, I just want to make sure when you're assistant general manager, you have to tighten your tie. That button should not be showing. You just one more little thing. Like before you leave the house, your wife or your husband or whoever it is should pull that thing up and just get that tight up there against that little spread collar. Jeff King has been promoted to assistant general manager. And according to Larry Mayer, who wrote this, it says the move marks a crescendo in King's steady climb through the club's personnel department, a journey that began as a scouting intern in 2015. Ryan Poles says Jeff has earned this promotion through commitment to our team and his excellence within our operation and the positive impact throughout the organization. He was an NFL tight end. He played 108 games over 7 seasons with the Panthers and Cardinals.
Oh,
so
Jeff King.
He spent 1 year as a Bears scouting intern before being hired as a full-time pro scout in 2016. He has been with the Bears 12 years. He is replacing Ian Cunningham. He said he and Poles played against each other in college when King was a tight end at Virginia Tech and Poles was an offensive lineman at Boston College, but they did not know each other well. Poles said he was impressed with King. When we jumped into free agent meetings, he stood out to me. He took control of that pro staff. He had an eye for talent. He was a very good communicator, saw value in players. We kicked it off pretty quick, and he's going to be valuable for this organization. Okay.
Well, hopefully when he goes and gets a GM job, oh no, they won't get any picks.
Nope. Yeah, not unless we can run him by the White Sox. And
it'll just continue where the Bears just don't get picks when guys leave. For
no,
the GM
we
jobs.
don't know. We need to go to the White Sox panel of assessing race, and their judges may say that Jeff King is black.
But we still wouldn't get picks though.
Well, right, because maybe the White Sox said Ian Cunningham isn't black either.
You know, I wonder if his commitment to the Bears is a similar level of commitment the Bears have made to Hammond, Indiana.
Stop. All right, and now because we're not going to do that. If you want all of the stadium stuff,
we're not going to do that again.
No. If you want to help cut through the stadium bullshit, go to DBU. There's a fresh, hot, steaming plate of DBU.
Yeah, you have to listen to that today about the stadium stuff.
With all the fixins.
Kicks off the show, so get into that there, please.
Yeah, and if you want to hear about all the water carrying going on with the Bears behind the scenes feeding all the information, these people saying, I've been talking to people, I've been talking to politicians. No, the Bears are giving you stuff, and the Bears have their hand up your ass, and they're moving your mouth. So go ahead and do some of that if you want to.
All right, Dan, one area that we haven't gotten into involving the Bears stadium issue, if they move to Indiana, which we know they're not going to move to Indiana, but I keep seeing this theme, whether it's online or from listeners reaching out. What about the Bears players? Are the Bears players going to move to Indiana? And I can tell you this right now, they are absolutely not going to move to Indiana. Even if the stadium ends up being in Hammond, which it's not, they're not moving to Indiana. The players do not need to be close to the stadium. I mean, just think about this logically for 1 second. Number one,
they don't practice there.
They don't practice there. They practice in Lake Forest. Number two, they're at the stadium anywhere from 8 to 12 times a year. That's it.
And they stay in a hotel the night before the games anyway, even home games.
Right. They would stay at a hotel in Chicago and would then commute to Indiana, wherever it would be.
On the team bus, buses that leave the hotel the next morning.
So no, Bears players are not going to be put out by having to move to Indiana. They'll stay up in the North Shore. They'll stay around Lake Forest. They'll stay in the city. Just because the stadium, if it were to move to Indiana, doesn't mean they have to live in Indiana. Like, I don't know this for sure, but I'm going to throw it out there just as a guess, because I've been to Green Bay. You've been to Green Bay. I don't think Packers players live in the city of Green Bay. I just don't think they do. You don't have to live in the city where your stadium is. Again, keep that in mind.
Well, no, they don't uproot their
365
families.
days a year.
They don't bring their kids to go to their schools in Green Bay.
Right.
Come on.
So 365 days out of the year, and maybe 8 at the most, 12 games a year at that stadium. They're not moving to Indiana to be near a stadium that they're at so infrequently throughout the calendar year.
I'm shocked that you feel you even have to say this.
It's just, I've seen it so many times though, Dan. So many times. Like, Bears players aren't going to want to move to Indiana. They don't have to move to Indiana. That's the point.
Well, if you look at most professional athletes, I would say by a wide margin, live somewhere other than where they ply their trade.
Except for a guy like Kirk Cousins, who he couldn't have been happier to build a big house in Minneapolis when he was there.
But they have multiple houses.
A lot of the guys do, yes. Not all of them, but yeah, a lot of guys do.
Right. Most people they're going to live where their family is or where their in-laws are, where their parents are. Like, come on.
But of all the issues and concerns about this whole stadium issue, that is the least of your thought process as a Bears fan, is the players moving to Indiana. They're not moving to Indiana. That would never, ever, ever happen. Just given the simple fact, as you stated, and the very first point I wanted to make, they practice in Lake Forest. That's where their facility is. That's where they'll stay closest to, is to that facility.
That's their office.
Yes.
That's where they work. The stadium is a place to
TV
which
studio, as you call it.
They take an office trip for
Yes.
their. Oh my God!
It's an off-site work location day.
Like, how are the Bears going to get free agents if they feel they have to live on Wolf Lake in a houseboat? What?
I would love that if every player lived on Wolf Lake in a houseboat.
They must live all together in a giant floating house in Wolf Lake.
That'd be great. That'd be a great Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks, Wolf Lake.
Oh, here they come. The Chicago Bears. Woo! There are no wolves in Wolf Lake, but it's still I mean,
but Dan, I've seen it. You haven't seen that at all?
I don't think so. I've just ignored it, worried about, well, what are NFL players going to think? Have you heard the Bears have moved and now we all have to live on a giant houseboat in Wolf Lake? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's really funny. So if that's a thought you're having, just eliminate that from your brain, please.
Okay.
Because the Bears players are not moving to Indiana.
Okay.
Nor do they need to move to Indiana.
I don't know,
Just
man.
because the stadium could be in Indiana doesn't mean they need to live there.
Players don't live where the stadium is. Do you think all the players are like the Giants and the Jets are? Come on.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a question for you about a couple Bears players, and we've talked about these guys a lot lately, with the whole notion of a possible, trade for Tyson Bagent if Arizona truly is interested. There's two players and two questions I have for you. Number one, because it doesn't matter what any of us think, it really matters what the Bears think. Do the Bears think that Tyson Bagent is a number one quarterback?
No.
Okay. Do the Bears think Tyson Bagent is a backup quarterback?
Yes.
Okay. So this whole idea of, the Bears can't trade Tyson Bagent.
Who said that?
A lot of people online, a lot of fans and Bears fans have expressed that thought.
You can't trade
even guys and gals in the media saying you have to have a solid backup. You can't go into a season without a solid backup.
Those are different things.
Backup. I know, but they think that Tyson Bagent is a solid number two guy, can be a very good quarterback. You can't part ways with a guy like that.
Of course you can.
Yes. So
you should. If somebody's calling for your backup quarterback, you say yes and you get another quarterback.
Particularly when he's an undrafted free agent, signing quarterback that you brought in, and I know they've given him a nice little contract for a backup guy, but if the Cardinals were to come back and say, hey, we'll give you a third or a fourth round pick for that guy, you send him off. Now, here's a hypothetical. Let's say the Bears think that Tyson Bagent is a number one quarterback. that he's not on the same level as Caleb Williams, that they're not picking Tyson Bagent over Caleb Williams. But let's say that the Bears feel like they have 2 starting quarterbacks in their quarterback room. And that would be a lot because not many teams can claim having even one starting quarterback in their quarterback room. But let's say that they think he's a number 1 quarterback and they have 2 starters in their room. If the Cardinals came to you and said, hey, we really love your backup quarterback who we think is a starter in this league, we'll give you a second round pick for that guy, and you think he's a starter quality quarterback in this league, do you send that guy off for a second round pick?
Yes. If you're the Bears,
100%, correct?
Immediately.
Without even like you hang up the phone before they finish talking, correct?
Yes.
To get him out the door.
Yeah. You pick him up over your shoulder and you throw him in the trunk of your car and you take him to the airport.
Yeah, I just don't want people to be confused by this need of having a good backup quarterback. When you have Caleb Williams, you'll find another backup quarterback. And if a team comes along and offers a 3rd or a 4th round pick for Tyson Bagent, you send him off and you take that draft pick. You turned an undrafted free agent backup quarterback into a 4th or maybe even a 3rd round pick.
Oh my God. You can find a backup quarterback. If your backup quarterback is playing, you're in trouble no matter who it is.
Correct.
Period. If Caleb Williams is hurt and can't play, that's bad no matter what.
And I know that of the 60 Super Bowls that they've had so far in the league, that yes, backup quarterbacks have won Super Bowls. I think what Jeff Hostetler, Nick Foles, who else has won? Was there a Redskins backup quarterback that won a Super Bowl?
Well,
Doug Williams. Did Doug Williams win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, but he wasn't a backup.
He wasn't the backup? I thought he was the backup.
No, I'm pretty sure he was the starter. Jay Schrader was their other guy. But yeah, I mean, there was the famous like Earl Morrill who came in for Johnny Unitas or Don Strock coming in for David Woodley, whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, so you have a handful of guys, sure, that have done it. But come on. If you get a draft pick offer for Tyson Bagent, you've got to make that move.
Immediately.
So
or else you're an
trying
idiot.
To talk about the stadium issue and to not just take what's being handed to you. Don't be that naive to think that you wouldn't move Tyson Bagent for a draft pick, or regardless of what Ben Johnson has ever said about Tyson Bagent. No matter what
Johnson
he feels
says
about
he's good.
Tyson
They
Bagent,
signed him to a contract. It's a backup. You can find a backup.
If you get a draft pick for him, you make that move. All right, next question for you. Kyle Monangai.
Yeah, is there a difficult question in here somewhere? Because so far these have been easy.
For some people it is, Dan.
Okay.
Do the Bears think that Kyle Monangai is a number 1 back?
Probably not. I think he's, and I don't think teams. Well, let me also say too. Is this a loaded question?
It's not a loaded question. No, because
are you basing this on the fact that teams crave a number 1 back because some don't?
Like who?
I'm saying teams look at having the old definition of number 1. The definition of number 1 back that we grew up with is not really there anymore. You can have a primary and a secondary. You could have a complementary backfield. You can have somebody who gets 60% to 40%, but you're not going to have what you used to have, which was sort of like the quarterback position.
Okay, so that's an anomaly now in the league as it is today. A guy like Derrick Henry, that's not the norm.
He's a dinosaur.
Okay. So let's use the terms in primary and secondary running back.
Okay.
Is Kyle Monangai a primary running back? Do the Bears think Kyle Monangai can be a primary running back?
I don't know the answer to your exact question.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I probably don't. Because
so that's the way I'm leaning to. I think they probably don't think he's the primary back yet. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do think he is. Maybe they saw enough of what they needed to see going into this new season to say we can make him our primary back, because I think that impacts what you do with DeAndre Swift, obviously, and what could potentially be there for cap savings if they move on from DeAndre Swift.
I think Kyle Monangai's really good.
Yes,
but
I do too.
I don't think he's fast enough to be the top guy on a great team.
Okay. Well, was DeAndre Swift fast enough for you last year?
Yeah, speed really wasn't my issue with him. I think him learning how to see what's in front of him and trust what's in front of him, hit the hole as blocked and just go. Don't look, don't dance, don't have to use all your moves or spin 3 wide every time out there. Just run what is called as blocked. And yeah, he's a good pass receiver and he's a good enough blocker.
Yeah, see, I think when we look at the speed of running back, I mean, how many running backs in the league are going to break off a 60 to an 80-yard touchdown run?
Regardless of the distance of the run, I want them to be able, if needed, to outrun somebody and not necessarily run somebody over.
All right, because I think what's more important and what they look at are the explosive plays. We know in pass plays, they're 20-plus yards. In run plays, they're 10-plus yards.
10-plus, yep.
And I don't think you need to have, this kind of 4.3, 4.2 speed to be able to have consistent explosive run plays.
I think that's true. But I want that. I'm selfish. I want the ability. I want that when he's got an angle on somebody, I want the threat of it going all the way.
So I just think if they answer that question one way or the other, they can really determine what they're going to do with DeAndre Swift and add more cap savings if they want to part ways with DeAndre Swift. If that's the case, if they feel that Kyle Monangai could be a primary running back, there's a guy that I looked at as a unrestricted free agent this year as a running back, and that is Kenneth Gainwell.
Ooh.
From Pittsburgh.
An aptronym. I always like a running back named Gainwell.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Little nominative determinism.
Yeah, so I was looking at unrestricted free agents, and Gainwell is a guy that stands out. Now, what is Gainwell? He was...
he's only 26.
He's only 26, so he's had 394 rushing attempts in 5 seasons.
So there's plenty of tread on the tire.
Correct. Last year was his best year production-wise, 537 rushing yards, 486 receiving yards.
He's only started 6 games in the 83 that he's played in 5 years.
Yes. He's a guy, so if you feel that Monangai could be a primary running back, I think Gainwell is a guy, and from a financial standpoint, you could do a 1-year around $2 million deal, if not sub $2 million. He's kind of in that ballpark of what you get. If you feel that you need a secondary running back to what Kyle Monangai can bring, I think Gainwell is a guy that the Bears should look at. If they answer that question about Monangai, make that decision based on that answer on DeAndre Swift.
Kenny Gainwell ran a 4.44 40 at the combine, listed at 5'9", 201, and on a 55-yard gain last November, he recorded a top speed of 20.43 miles per hour.
He also had a success rate last year of 55%. And if you look at all current running backs, all active running backs with a minimum of 100 carries, he's like 5th or 6th overall in success rate. And if you're not familiar with success rate, that's gaining yards needed, like 60% of the yards needed on first down, or no, 40% on first down, 60% on second down, and 100% on third or fourth down. So really successful year, really productive year last year for Pittsburgh, a guy that's an unrestricted free agent that I think is a guy that they could look at if they make a decision on Swift based on how they evaluate Monangai going into year 2.
That's a good name. I don't know. You must have been sort of perusing a lot of these
I've been looking at a lot of stuff.
Lists.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was the backup behind Jaylen Warren. He can also return kicks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some added value in that. He was originally a 5th-round pick of the Eagles, 150th overall.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that is not a bad name. And he has been an accomplished receiver as well, averaging 6.9 yards per reception. He has a total of 21 touchdowns between receiving and rushing.
Yeah, I just think he's a guy that will have some more potential than what he's shown, given more opportunity. But again, I'm not featuring my offense around him, but I'm adding him to what I think is a already established running back room where I believe that my guy in-house is a primary guy, and I need to add a complement to that. I just think, from a value-wise, that's a good number to look at too.
I think so too. And maybe, as is often the case when we do this, we drastically end up underestimating the expense. Because for all the reasons you described, there may be multiple teams interested and maybe a higher price tag than we expect. But if the number for Swift, what did we say, 8.5?
Yeah, somewhere like 8.5,
8.8. Yeah, something around there. Okay, that's good name. That is absolutely one to file away and easy to remember because a running back named Gainwell.
Yeah, I love that.
Is aptronymically named.
All right, and here's another name I want to throw at you. And again, this isn't just for, I'm not saying this for Bears purposes, but it's a name that I keep seeing come up in like prospects and draft talk. Are you familiar with the defensive tackle out of Navy, Landon Robinson? Because I was not.
I'm not.
Okay. Landon Robinson, first team All-ACC, first team All-American. He was named co-captain for Navy, which is obviously a really significant importance for the midshipmen. He squatted 665 pounds. He benched 465. Oof. He was clocked at one point 20.1 miles per hour. What? Here's the thing: when I give you these dimensions, who's the first? Because I had an immediate former Bears defensive tackle that came to mind. 6 foot 287.
Okay.
6 foot 287.
6 feet tall. 287, so very small.
Yes.
That is extremely small.
Yes,
are we going back to like Brad Culpepper?
I immediately thought of Chris Zorich. Because wasn't Zorich similar to that? Wasn't he around 6 foot and 280, 285?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good comp. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a valid comp. I'm just saying that's not what I'm looking for in the modern NFL. Those are not the numbers of a modern NFL defensive tackle.
They're not. Now, I don't know where like a squatting 665 and benching 465, where that puts a guy in that position. It sounds like an awful lot. It sounds like he could be some kind of athletic strength freak. But it was just that 6 foot 287 just was kind of like that's more of a red flag to me than it is. Let's keep looking at this guy.
All right. First team All-American. Is that right?
Yeah. He also had in his career 3 carries for 87 yards, which is a pretty good average.
Okay. He's listed as a nose guard.
Okay.
That's like 100 pounds too light to be an NFL nose guard.
That's what I was thinking too, right?
Yes. Like it's legit 60, 70 pounds. That's not an NFL nose guard. It's just no. I don't know what position he plays. Like you would the only defensive tackle position for which he would even be able to sub in would be as a pure 3 technique, and he would have to be remarkably skilled. If you're talking about who'd the Bears draft? They had 1 year that the guy. Remember that guy Will Sutton?
Oh yeah,
Arizona, I think.
Yeah, Arizona's right.
And another undersized guy, but if you have this unbelievable hip snap and incredible get off and leverage and low pads, you could exist. You could stay on a roster perhaps with those height and weight numbers if you're just like a ridiculously disruptive 3 technique. How long are his arms?
I don't know.
All right, I'm defaulting to just I'm out on this guy.
Yeah, and the reason why there's a lot of noise around him that he wasn't invited to the combine, and a lot of fans have been. I've seen online a lot of fans making a lot of noise that it's a snub that he should have been invited to the combine, and I think just based on that, those lifting numbers, I think that's what people are talking about.
All right, we even had that's all the combine is.
Right.
Is people making bad decisions over lifting numbers
and jumping and yeah.
Right? It's like if the game involved lifting things competitively, It would be different. I don't know where you play a guy with these high. I can't get past the measurables here.
Well, so that's what happened, Dan. So I see this name come up more than once. So I'm like, all right, let's look at this guy. And I see the resume: first team All ACC, first team All American, co-captain for Navy. Very cool. And I'm like, wow, squats 665. Wow, bench 465. Wow, he clocked it over 20 miles an hour. Like, holy shit. Oh, 6 foot 287. Okay. That's why.
That's probably why he's playing there. And doesn't he have to do a hitch in the Navy?
I don't know. Is that still a thing? Do you have to do that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, so that I was trying to like understand, why would a guy like this not be invited to the combine? And then I answered it for myself when I saw his measurables. Yeah.
There's no job for him.
Yeah.
It's a job fair.
And nothing against Chris Zorich. I think he's in the College Football Hall of Fame, but my first thought was 6 foot 287, Chris Zorich.
Those were some strays. Is what those were. And Chris is a good guy, and always enjoyed my dealings with Chris, and I covered him. But yeah, move him to linebacker.
That's right.
Move Zorich to line. The reason they were saying that was because he was so undersized. Yes. And my memories of Chris Zorich were always of him. He always had gaudy tackle numbers. But as a defensive lineman, he would always make a tackle with his body facing the end zone to which the ball carrier was running. Oh, you know what I mean? He would never square a guy up
from behind. Yes.
Yes. He was great at like chasing a guy down. His motor was awesome. He was great at getting blocked. The ball carrier would pass him, and then he would shed the block and run down the ball carrier.
Yeah. Not necessarily running with distance to get the ball carrier, but even in that point of contact, he's still turning the wrong way. Yeah.
There was that too.
Saying.
Yes, it was that too, and it was also having to chase the guy down because he got up ahead of steam, and then he cut, and it's like, oh, Zor 97 is in on the tackle. I think was the number I kept seeing. He was 6'1", 282 listed, so pretty good.
So right there, right there. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but that was 100 years ago when it was a different NFL,
right? Because
he and I are. What's his birthday? He and I might be like exactly the same age. When was he born?
Because he was under Wannstedt, right?
He's 3 months older than I am.
That was those years with Wannstedt.
91 through 97. So I covered him in 95, 96, and 97. Yes.
And Wannstedt was there in 92?
No. He was there starting in 94, right?
So not too far
93 into 90, the playoffs in 94.
All right, I said 92, and you're like, no, 93, 94.
Because
you made a noise like I was off by a decade.
That was Koch. Because that was when it was the.
Oh, was 92 Ditka's last year?
93 was his last year. Right?
Jesus Christ.
Are you do this now?
No, we're fine. It's right there. The early 90s. Ditka left.
Completely different.
Once that came.
Yeah,
completely different era.
Ditka's last year was 92.
92, okay.
And then he was out of the league for 5 years, and then he came back with the ill-fated Saints tenure of 97 to 99.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently also not doing well.
No, he's not.
Mike, yeah.
Yes. All right, well, I just wanted to throw out Landon Robinson. I don't know if you were familiar with him.
No,
when is he going to react
here's
the
the
same
thing,
way
though.
that I did?
Here's the thing, though.
Because I've actually seen him, though, as like a day 3 draft pick, though.
Maybe because he works so hard and he'll get in camp and it could be a core special teamer. Like he could be Daniel Hardy, couldn't he? Could he be like a guy like Daniel Hardy who just plays super hard, and he's also played on offense before, and he's been like a fullbacky
possibly
kind of guy. And I mean, Daniel Hardy's great. A couple times a year, takes some terrible penalties for you.
Yeah, but he'll be
him or not.
Possibly a day 3 guy like Diego Pavia.
Anybody who wastes a draft pick on Diego Pavia is fired.
Well, we'll see how wrong
you are not going to need a draft pick. And by the way, Daniel Hardy's 6'2", 256. So that is at least like an actual edge or linebacker size there. Yeah,
6'2", 256.
And when I see 6'0", if he's listed at 6 feet, 287, he's probably shorter than that.
Yeah, he's probably 5'10" 3/4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but hey, I wish him luck, and he seems like a great kid. Everything I read about him.
But
I was wondering
you know
why
what you did to me.
Were,
this is why. No, this would piss me off because. What? You said, have you heard of what's his name? Landon
Robinson.
Landon Robinson. And I'm like, no, I haven't. And he has a really football-y name. Yes,
he does.
That's an outstanding.
He looks very
sports name.
football-y too.
It's a great sports name, Landon Robinson. Yeah. And now for some reason I'm going to remember that, but I don't have to remember that.
No, you don't have to.
Okay, but now I've got to like cycle it through my brain. I'll move it to the delete to the garbage can icon in my head.
Yes.
But it's going to stay there. It won't be
is.
completely flushed out. It'll still be, even if I say empty trash in my head, it won't empty it completely.
Well, I just wanted to see if you had the same reaction that I did after I read off the resume and then gave you his height and weight, if you thought the same thing I did. That's all.
Yes. I don't have a use for him. I'm sure he's a lovely person. I'm not talking about his value as a human being.
Yes, very valuable as a human being.
I'm sure he's a valuable human being on this planet. But no, thank you. I'm not interested.
Yeah, so we'll see where he goes, and I'm just excited as the NFL season begins to kick off here as we get more into the draft stuff. One last note I have for you: I'm a little concerned about former Bears. What was Declan Doyle with the Bears? Was he offensive
coordinator?
Yeah, even though he didn't really do the job. I'm a little concerned about Declan Doyle.
He's enjoying this new job, isn't he?
He sure is. Did you see what he said about voluntary OTAs?
No, I know he said that he's going to unlock all the untapped potential in Lamar Jackson.
He also says that he feels that everyone should go to the voluntary OTAs. And that expects everyone
be careful,
to be
man.
there.
Be careful.
It's too late. He already put it out there.
You don't want to
and if you want to win a championship and you're going to play with championship standards, why wouldn't you want to be at every possible situation to collaborate together?
Because
they
collective bargained for that. You don't want to go there. You don't want to be that guy.
I think he already started it, dude, and it's already going to be. So it was very deliberate in what he said about Lamar Jackson. To then follow it up with those comments that, I expect everyone to be at OTAs, at the voluntary OTAs. Like, why wouldn't you be? If you want to win a championship.
For any reason, because you don't want to be, because you don't have to be. Well, maybe you have something better to do.
Because they're called voluntary.
Correct.
There's a reason why they're voluntary. They're not mandatory. So I'm a little concerned there that he kind of stepped in it right away. Because that's not going to play out well. Because I
don't care if he did or not. It doesn't bother me.
I don't care either. But it's just like the entire team will not be at a voluntary practice.
Yeah, and you shouldn't say that you expect it to be. I know. Look, I'm not naive. I know what voluntary versus mandatory means, and I know there's always grumbling. This guy wanted to take a trip with his kids. I mean. I know that's out there, but it doesn't make it suck any less.
Mm-hmm.
With these football coaches who he's not sleeping in his office or he doesn't care about football enough. Is football not important enough to him to be at the voluntary? It's voluntary. It's voluntary. It's voluntary. And if he's not there, deal with it.
Right. Well, I'm just, looking at it from a coach speak standpoint, to go out and say what he did about Lamar Jackson and then to throw this out there and say, I expect everyone to be there. Not the way to reach those veterans.
No,
that's not it, dude.
No. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have happened in a John Harbaugh regime. I tell you that. Sorry, I'm just saying what I think like Nasty Nestor would say or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But I don't think ill of Declan Doyle. I wish him well.
No, of course, no, not at all. I just thought
you're right.
Stepped in it though quickly. That's not the look you want to put.
He
out
likes
there.
Talking though, and I don't want to coach that out of him. I love it. He's always every time on the mic he said stuff.
Yeah, he was great.
So
he was great.
Good mic skills. I don't mind the man's mic skills whatsoever. We should put him on the list too.
Mic skills.
Yeah,
done.
I think we may be capped at Mike though. We may
have to do a whole separate Mike team.
I think so. The Les team and the Mike team. I've got a lot of work to do for the remainder of the day because I got to put this list together for DBU tomorrow.
Yeah, just a quick reminder too that Bear Stadium talk. Go to DBU from today. So Thursday's episode of DBU, all the Bear Stadium stuff is in there. We lead the show with it, so you want to get in there and get involved in that. And also, I want to just reiterate to you that if the Bears do move to Indiana, the players do not have to move to Indiana.
Can I add something else to that too?
Sure.
Okay. I feel compelled to add something else. And that is those who are talking about, well, you're going to lose all of this business revenue. No, you're not. The Bears are headquartered in Lake Forest, Illinois. Mm-hmm. The Bears are going to remain headquartered and taxed in Lake Forest, Illinois. That's where the Bears are. The Bears' business is not moving. The only thing that would go to Hammond, Indiana, which is not going to go, the only thing would go are things that happen on those days and a share of concessions or whatever some of this stuff would be for actual state revenue. And then it's up to the state for the rest of the days, whatever their stadium authority is, to sell the building with all the other concerts and all that stuff.
Right.
All the other money you can make. That's now on Indiana, with all the money going to the Bears.
Right. So where would Bears players eat?
They wouldn't be allowed to eat in Illinois anymore, ever.
Oh, they wouldn't be. Okay, so they wouldn't be able to go to downtown restaurants.
Nope,
okay.
They're not allowed. And
where would they stay?
I don't know. They got to stay in Wolf Lake. I'm telling you,
so they wouldn't stay at the Chicago hotels.
Not allowed, apparently. Giant houseboat in the middle of Wolf Lake. That's about the best they're going to do. But come on here. They're losing $1 billion footprint of their business. Their business isn't going anywhere. It's just it's just the TV studio. All right, yes. I'm done. I don't want to do. I already did this on one show. I'm not gonna bother you on it with another.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up Forward Progress for you today. And we're back for you tomorrow with DBU and Forward Progress as well. There's a new OWC that's out that dropped yesterday, so check that out. And then tomorrow on DBU, do something a little fun. We're gonna visit with an old friend who was actually in the building at Lake Placid and saw with his own eyes USA over Russia and the Miracle on Ice. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We got some fun stuff planned for DBU as well as Forward Progress tomorrow as well. So we'll talk to you. It's Bernstein. I'm Abaticola. This is Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears and an NFL podcast right here on 312 Sports.
Forward Progress has stopped.
10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.